Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of In Conversation Podcast. This is your boy, Xzavier Antonio, and I am here with the phenomenal woman who walks in her, how do we say it, in her queenship, in her royalty, Miss Lachelle Hooks, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, y'all.
She has been podcasting for quite some time, been a businesswoman for quite some time, and somebody that I totally look up to spiritually. I ain't never told her that, you know what I'm saying? But what? Yeah, I look up to you, Miss Lady.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm 4'11", Lord. I didn't know nobody looked up to me, Jesus.
Now that's funny.
But amen. Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
So you have your own podcast to start there. And it's with the TDR Network, and it's called the Shine Your Light Podcast.
Yes.
What you started about a year ago, 2 years ago now?
1 year.
1 year?
Yep.
Did an anniversary show yet or anything like that?
No, we should though. Yeah. We should.
You gotta try to figure out how you could do like a Zoom virtual, get all your guests on one call.
I would love that.
A little Shine Your Light party. You know what I mean? We
need to do an actual event too. Now that I think about it, with with all of those guests there.
Yeah, and it'll definitely be a way for all of us to pour back into you.
Aw, that sounds dope. They definitely came to teach the people. So honestly, I wouldn't look at it as y'all pouring into me though. I would look at it as me putting an event together to cater to y'all, to thank y'all for coming to teach the people. Because y'all don't have to do that. Y'all don't have to come on the show. I don't pay them nothing, y'all. But y'all do that, out of the kindness of y'all hearts, and because y'all have a message, that you want to get out there and teach the people. So I appreciate it. So I would put that together for y'all. Yeah,
it's definitely a two-way relationship.
That's a really good idea. I'm actually gonna do that. Yeah, like for real.
You're also providing a platform for people to get their information out or their knowledge out, or sometimes might witness a little bit of venting, you know what I mean? And people get to share their journey. I was listening to the show today, dating daddies.
Yes,
Is that what
Lord.
It was? Yeah.
Yes.
And one of the gentlemen on there was, speaking about his experience with divorce and some of the things that was going through his mind and what he was dealing with. And so your platform is definitely one of those that allows for other people to connect, like, oh, I could relate to that, or, So thank you, Miss Shine Your Light.
Absolutely. I always say, anytime you learn something in life, it's your responsibility to teach somebody else. So that's literally what it is. People coming on, telling their testimonies, and speaking about, just different things that they've learned in life, Lord.
So you've been doing it for about a year, but how did you get into this whole podcasting thing?
It was definitely on accident.
On accident?
It was definitely on accident. I appeared on one podcast. It was a love tour with Tone. Shout out to Tone at the TDR Network. Shout out to Dewan. But I appeared on their podcast. And right after the podcast, Tone was just like, we need to get you your own podcast. And that's kind of how that went. So
I must feel like you had a lot to say.
That probably was what it was, you know what I'm saying? And I did.
She got something to say.
Very loquacious, Jesus. I did though. I had been through so much in life, it was time for me to talk about all of those things and all of those lessons, because somebody else can benefit from it. That's the goal. I don't just be out here telling my business, Lord. It's purpose in it. So
I think you've gotten, I've seen some of the evolution, and you've definitely gotten.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You've definitely gotten so great at, I would say, one, interviewing people. You know what I mean? Just having that dialogue. And also even being bolder and, you know what I'm saying? Like standing up for, what you believe. Like, you don't shy away from your perspective. You know what I mean? Like, so that is great. I remember though, when you first started, there was a lot of dialogue that focused more on you. No matter who you brought into the conversation. Right. And there was the promise. You used to promise you were coming out of your shell and, Lord. Trying to shine your light and becoming more and more transparent. I feel like you wouldn't immediately like just putting it all out there. Some stuff definitely some stuff. But like, you know, some of your story, what you have been through in a relationship. This,
very open with my testimonies. I'm so open because there's power in it. And I know regardless of what I've gone through, somebody else is going through it or have gone through it as well. You know what I'm saying? There's power in sharing our testimonies. There's healing in it too. So
you started this podcast on accident. Like, it was just
definitely on accident.
You was in a place at a time. Somebody heard you. Like, she got a whole lot to say. She ain't done. We need to give her more time. And you get but not only that, but now here we are a year later, and you recently made a post about, you know, wanting to be on radio, wanting to be on the TV, and it's just like, how you go from getting involved in this realm on accident, you know what I'm saying, to really wanting like some really top-notch spots, TV and radio and all of that. It's interesting how most of what God has planned for us isn't what we had planned for ourselves initially. Like, we do all this work to create things, and then we find ourselves in some of the best positions because of opportunities that God brought to us.
I was actually, like you said, I was really shy in the beginning, and I wasn't used to like being on camera and all of that, but I found the purpose in it, and I found my voice within that. You know what I'm saying? So when you find your voice, you have something to say, and you've gone through certain things in life that you know you can teach other people how to get out of it, it becomes your responsibility to do so. You know, so isn't it better to do it on a larger scale, on a larger platform?
Absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
yes, God, won't He do it?
Now, the things that, you know, you talk about a wide variety of things. I know you just had like a show not long ago that was it about insurance?
So I had a realtor on recently, but we also, there was a young guy. I say young guy, we're the same age, Jesus. We still young in spirit, Lord. But I had him come on the show, and he just spoke about being a black man, a black father, used to be a hustler, and his message to the people, his message to other black men was to make sure they have insurance for their children. You know what I'm saying? Especially to those men who were hustling out here, you know, in the streets and not thinking about those things. So he had a powerful message to share with the people.
And then there was the real estate one too. The realtor came on too. Yes,
the realtor came on, and he spoke about a lot of resources that are available to first-time home buyers. But he didn't just speak about that. He also spoke about his process of becoming a realtor, being raised in Milwaukee as a young black man. You know what I'm saying? So they're speaking about the things that they're doing professionally. That gentleman, he actually has his own show, the one with the insurance. He has his own show, and he does a lot of things with artists. He manages artists. So they're not just speaking about what they do professionally, but they're also speaking about their individual journeys.
Yeah, their journey to story.
Yes, so powerful. I'm so passionate.
So
yes, because I know, listen, I was definitely that young girl that was kind of in the closet, you know what I mean? And I needed to view someone who would be a good influence for me. I needed to view someone who maybe was in the same, that was just like me, someone that I could relate to, who made it, who pushed through. You know, I wasn't, raised the best way. We all have our stories, Lord.
I brushed it off.
I did.
We all have our stories. But anyway, the point is.
But I needed that woman that was an example of being in a loveless family. No one told me they loved me. I was the first person that told my mom that I loved her when I was 18 years old. My father died of an overdose, and I only met him twice in my life. Once was when I was 4 years old. The second time was at his funeral. We all have a story, but I think the power lies is when you're willing to tell your story, and allow it to be seen by other people who can probably relate to it. And now you become a light of hope. You know what I'm saying? For those people, that's shining your light. And so many different people have it, right? But sometimes we just have to pull it up out of them. So I be pulling it up out of people. Amen. Won't He do it?
And so I just
You're so
love
funny.
the shine your light piece. I just love that that's the name.
Yes.
Because I have this theory, and you might have seen me talk about it on social media about shining your light.
Yes.
And how when you walk into a room and the room is dark, you're not necessarily turning the light on in that room so that the light can brag about how bright it is. You know what I mean? But you're turning on that light so you can find the hidden thing, the unseen thing that's in the room, that's in that darkness. And so that's why we of course should acknowledge that we do have light. You know what I'm saying? That we are light. And then secondly, we're shining our light for others because there's so many other people who are lost in the dark.
Right. And that light truly is the Spirit of God. It is the Spirit of love. That's the light that should be shining. That's the light that should be seen. So when you're walking in love, you know what I'm saying, when you're displaying that with your actions, you know, with how you treat people, that's the light that's shining. That love that you have, you know, authentically. So yeah.
I'm glad you talk about love. You know, because when I started talking about the insurance person and the realtor coming on, I wanted to get to the point that a lot of the content produced by the Shining Light podcast is centered around not only just shining that light and sharing your voice, but centered around about love.
Yes.
Be it the love of God, be it the love in a relationship, all of those things. And you just talked about being a woman growing up in a loveless home.
Absolutely.
Or not being told, I love you and all of that. And do you feel like that is the thing, the part of the story that has made you come into the understanding how important love is?
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like for me personally, I want everyone to feel the love that I didn't feel. I feel like when you go through certain things in life, either you become it or you're the opposite of that because you don't want anybody else to feel that way or be in that space. So I kind of became the opposite, right? There's love of just being a person, just being like viewed and seen, like truly. So everyone around me, I want them to know that they're important, know that your story matters. You know what I'm saying? Know that everything that you've gone through had purpose. There was purpose for it, right? And shine a light on that. And then I also want everyone to find their person. God loves family, right?
Matchmaker.
Not even matchmaker. God is a matchmaker, Lord.
That's what Joseph said to the Pharaoh, right? He was like, I don't interpret dreams. God interpret dreams. And
exactly. Exactly. We are a vessel. That's it, and that's all. Either you are in a position to be that vessel or you are not. Amen. So
I like the love thing.
Yes.
And the love conversation. I met you at a poetry night that we did back in the day, and a part of that poetry night we had these sessions called Love Talks. A lot of those discussions that we were having were based on God saying, love God and love your neighbor. But one book that I found was written by a guy named Eric Fromm, and it was called The Art of Loving.
I know so many good men, such as yourself. I know who I respect and love and adore and all of that, admire. And I know so many beautiful, good women, Lord. So I just kind of want to put them all in a room together. That's it and that's all. I don't think I'm a love agent necessarily. And just allow people to get to know each other. It's just a meet and greet, allow people to get to know each other. So yes, I will be having some events where I actually interview people, the participants. I interview them first to kind of see where they are. Are you ready to be in a relationship? Are you looking for a relationship? And only people who are in position to receive what God has for them, if they're presented with that, those are the people that I want to be at my events, which will be coming up this summer. So y'all can, stay tuned for that. But I want everyone to find their person. If I can have a part in that, I'm absolutely happy to. I'm still waiting on my person.
Like, are you still playing games? oh, not this event. This ain't the event, man. You know, we do something.
Exactly.
I know some people. You know,
and I also feel like it gives a sense of accountability when dating, because now, one, you're dating in a safe space. I'm very guarded. I'm a very guarded individual, right? I love people, but I don't play any games, and I don't play about me. So there's a lot of women out here who are the same way, and so we're kind of providing a safe space for them to be able to date, and also putting that accountability on the man and the woman. You know, it's an example, like, you're less likely to play games if you know this people has people, and we're gonna know about what you do. You know what I'm saying? So just putting that accountability on people.
So strong woman, she ain't playing no games.
She don't play no games, y'all.
She's making sure she get to the best of her ability and God's wisdom, get the best people in the room to the events that she's going to be doing. Until these events happen, you need to make sure you tap into some of these conversations that are happening on the Shine Your Light podcast, which is every Saturday, right? At 4 o'clock. Right. 4 p.m.
Until
next time, y'all, love, peace, and talent.
Till next time, see y'all.